Hey everybody, Canje here for another playthrough of Ascension, this time for the first expansion that's called Return of the Fallen. Ascension, as you know, this expansion is designed by Gary Arendt, Robert Daugherty, Ian Estrin, John Florio, Justin Gary, Brian Kibler, Jeff Liu, and Ryan O'Connor, and the game was published by Arclight, Asmodee, Funbox, Marabunta, and Stoneblade Entertainment. So, a lot of new names. Ascension kind of grew into a bigger thing, and this first expansion that came out, which is called Return of the Fallen, pits us, the heroes who are guarding Vigil, against Samael, one of the monsters that has returned to take down Vigil and get vengeance on us. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, let's see how this playthrough goes. So, we select Return of the Fallen, which is Return of the Fallen is a 2-player only expansion, but if you shuffle it into Chronicles of the God Slayer or any of the other ones, you can go back and play it 3 to 4 player as well. But if you're just going to play the expansion by itself, because it's a standalone, it's only play 2-player. So once again, Canje versed the AI, and I said versed, which was weird. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we started up. Ooh, look, that's a fate that just happened. Alright, so we start off with the usual. We start off with our 10 base cards that are worth 0 points, but it is 8 apprentices worth 1 by power each, and 2 militia worth 1 combat point each for people who are just joining in on this playthrough here. Basically, our job is we're combating against the AI. What we want to do is we want to make sure that there's no combat here against each other. It's not like Magic where I play a card, you play a card, and we try to fight it out. This is more, we try to get crystals, 120 crystals, plus the price of the crystal amount that comes from each card. And from there, basically what we can do is we can, whoever has the highest number is the winner. So I start off here with 2 militia, 3 apprentice, and I'll just hit play all because there's no special order for me to put them in. And I'll go through special order again for people just joining in. Welcome aboard. With 2 combat, there's no monsters to really fight, but there is the cultist, and we smacked him up quite a bit the last session, so I'm going to go ahead and smack him again just to get things fresh. Alright, so let's take a look around. So I would gain 2, and I may treat all constructs as Mechana this turn. So if I'm going to build the Mechana deck, then I can do that. Last time we went a little bit, we went Lifebound and Enlighten. You know what? I'm going to try the Mechana and see what happens. So let's get the Dimension Driver. The first monster comes out with a reward of 4, but we can't fight him because we're out of buy power and we're out of combat power. So let's go ahead and let the computer go. And my turn. Of course, he would buy the Reclaim Axe because we're gonna battle over Mechana constructs this turn. But my round around, I got 5, so I'll go ahead and hit play. So, let's see. Remember that Void helps you mill out your deck here, right? So it says you may banish a card in your hand, so we can get rid of this unnecessary cards to get back to the cards that really help us later on. For 3 combat, for 5 buy power, because buy power is here at the top, right? And basically, this is what you get. You get a little bit of flavor text at the bottom, but this is the meat of the card. So, by power of 3, this one actually lets me acquire Mystic and Heavy Infantry, which will help me build up to buy the Socket Altar. So, I'll go ahead and buy one of those, and I'm going to grab a Heavy Infantry, just so I can combat and fight some monsters. So, my deck is reshuffled, because this is my discard pile. My deck is reshuffled. I get a new set of cards. I get that +2 that I got before for combat. Nothing special here, so let me hit that. I'm going to buy a Mystic because I want to get one of these Socket Altars. And I can't beat any monster with my combat of 3 except for Mr. Cultist, which I'm going to give him the old Wayne Brady treatment. Alright. Alright, now notice here in my new one I have 4 apprentice and then a buy 2, which will give me 6 buy power, and I can get one of these sockets right now. So I'm going to grab one and then go ahead and end my turn because I can't buy anything else. Now, before I told you in my last playthrough that I sped up the computer's play, the AI play, so that it doesn't take a long time as you see each card come out. But you can definitely slow that down in the settings if you want to, just to get around to my turn a lot faster. So I'll go ahead and play that socket, which gives me 2. And then I got my Enlightened Hero where I can banish, start milling my deck and start getting some better cards for it. So I'm going to throw this guy out. I will get rid of an Apprentice. Banishment means not discard and goes into my discard pile. Actually throw banishment into the void, which you see up here on the top right. And when I cast into the void, it is out of play for the rest of the game. And then I come here and I'll grab a Mystic in its place. So what I basically did was I banished a card in my hand. If you do, acquire Mystic or Heavy Infantry, add it to your hand immediately. So getting rid of a +1, replacing it with a +2 that gives me 1 crystal at the end of the game, I think that's a good steady buy, which puts me at 4. So I've got a total of 5 and 1. Well, let's see here. What do I want to do? I could buy this one. Let's buy this one and see what comes out next. Another one of the Guardian of Sadranus? Sure. It gives me 1 buy power as well. I'll buy that as well. Ooh, now this is nasty. Okay, so I have more crystals than he does. I have 2. He has 1. So if he defeats this monster, it says gain 1, then steal 2 from an opponent with the most. So he can actually wipe me out to 0, basically, and get 3. But there's nothing I can really do about it, is there? So I'm going to not waste my buy power and then get that 1. I can't. The cultist is safe this round because he needs 2 for me to smack him down with, and I only have 1. So end my turn. And there he goes. He has reduced me to 0, and he's got all the points by beating that monster. Remember what I was saying was happening there? So, let's see. I don't have anything too special happening here. This is not looking good for you, boy Canje. So, we're going to get 2 heavy infantry, because there were 2 each, as you can see here at the top, and they give me 2 combat power. I have 3. Cultist doesn't get away this time. Smack, smack. And turn. Oh, he got with the other socket altar, and I was right there able to get it again. That's the worst. But let's go ahead and play my 6. I really don't want this Black Watch Elite. It's a 2 point for a 5 buy. You gotta compare against these two, and it's not really worth it. 3 combat. It's okay. The milling of the deck I can do with my Enlightened card by switching out these Apprentices for Mystics. So I don't really need to do that. I'll draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. I don't want to do that either. So I'm going to buy a Mystic and a Heavy Infantry. No, I don't want that guy. So this is an interesting point. I could spend the 1 to buy this guy, but I don't want to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards, because then I'll have to do so. And there might be really good cards that I want that I just lose. So I don't want this card, but the game itself, it's saying you can still buy things. So do you really want to end? So it's red. Yes, I do. And then it says, are you sure that's what you want to do? I am sure. So I will leave it to him to purchase that card if he wants to, which he does. And then he gains 2, because that one says you gain 2 after you defeat it. But the next time you defeat a monster in the center row, this turn gain 2, so I would have gained 4 if I only had the fight to do it. This is nice. I can gain 2 or 2 crystals. So I'll go ahead and buy that Lunar Stag. Okay, so this fate just happened. Let's check this out. Fate. When this enters the center row, each player may acquire a Mystic. Put it on the top of your deck. So these fate cards just come in, they pull off the main deck up here at the top, and they fill out as they go. It's not just constructs. There are fates littered throughout all the new cards that come. So some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Some of them are on monsters, and we may get to see that during this play if it's deemed so. So I go ahead and do that. Cultist is not safe from my wrath, and I have to see about catching up with him. Alright, so let's hit play all what we got. Oh, revenge time. This is beautiful. So the Sordid Asp. Remember this one that he played on me? Gain one. I'll gain 1 for beating it, and then I'll steal 2 from an opponent who has the most than me. So I'm getting back what he stole with this. There we go. That puts us back in a nice place. And I have 4. I'm 1 shy of being able to pick up this construct. That's a shame. So I'm going to grab 2 heavy infantry. Best use of money. Can't hit the cultist this turn. Go ahead and end my turn. Of course he'll pick up that card because he's going Mechana and it's going to hurt. So let's start buffing ourselves. I'm going to get rid of this apprentice because of this Enlightened Hero. Banish, grab a Mystic in its place, as we did last time. Go ahead and hit play. I've got 7. You may defeat a monster in a void. Okay. Interesting card. So Sadranus, Dark Emissary, basically lets me go into the void and beat monsters that are there already. Oh, I cannot pass that card up. I'm going to take that. And that's all my buy power that I took. And then I go ahead and end my turn. Oh, you would buy that. So what just happened was he played... Okay. So what just happened was he defeated this Vault Worm. And basically the Vault Worm says each opponent must put their highest construct into their discard pile. They choose in the case of a tie. That was my only construct that was down there. And I know my picture's kind of hiding it off, but I only had 1 construct in there, and which means he got 4 points and he wiped my construct away. And then the new card that followed behind him was a Fate. When this card enters the center row, each player may draw a card. Great Fate. So I'll go ahead and draw a card. And that ends his turn. So let's go ahead and hit play. So Vengeance time. I'm going to get 6, and he's going to have to trash a card that's in his hand. So you start out, you draw 5 cards each turn. Whatever you pull after that comes from the card draw that you pull, like draw a card. This one here says draw 2 cards. Each other player may draw a card. So you start off with 5. I just reduced him down to 4 because of that 1 monster hit. Let's see. You may treat all constructs as Mechana constructs this turn, but I gained 2. So the Dimension Diver I had before, I'm going to go for the Scar of Faith, which lets me draw 2 cards. Even though he'll get to draw 1 card when the card comes out, I get 2. This one is nasty. Aduya the Chosen. Acquire or defeat any card in the center row. You do not have to pay anything for it. It's an 8 cost, a 6 crystal write-off. That's a nice card to have. Let's see if we can pick that up at some point before the AI does. It looks like he can get it this turn. I don't have much really going here, so I can hit play all. Eternal Scar is interesting. I don't have any life bounds this turn, so I'll go with Enlighten and get Eternal Scara. And then Cultist takes the punishment for me not being able to kill monsters. We're now tied for 12 for 12. But he's got 4 constructs sitting here. I told you in the last playthrough that the computer likes to go Mechana. You can see it happening here. He's got some really nice Mechana cards here, especially a 6 counter one. So let's see how they chain. You may discard Reclamation from play to acquire a Mechana construct. So he can ditch this card to just get a new card, get a Mechana construct. This is very dangerous when it comes to the higher level ones, like the Hedron Collider, which if you see that, it spells doom for me. So let's hope that I can stop him from getting that one. Once per turn, when you put a Mechana construct into play, including this one, you get an extra 2 buy power. Or once per turn, you may draw a card if you control 3 or more constructs. So basically, he's getting a free card each turn because he has 3 Mechana constructs already in play. Ooh. I'm trying to remember how to hide. There we go. So get it out of the way there. Alright, I can't do anything else. Let's go ahead and end the turn. So he's getting closer to that 8. Very dangerous. I'm going to take the money. And I've got 8. Oh yeah. Aduya the Chosen, you will be mine. I can't do anything else past that. Go ahead and end turn. A new fate came out. When this card enters the center row, I missed that one, but it looks like it went in discard. So you may defeat a monster in the void as though it was in the center row. If you do, put it on the bottom of your deck, of the center row deck. So each opponent must put their highest cost construct into the discard pile. For 4, each component must discard a card for 6. It says of... Okay, so I can only defeat these ones. I can't defeat the Fire Tyrant. So I'm going to go ahead and do the Vault Rune, make him ditch a card away, giving me 3 attack. Not really much buy power. My hand's not looking that great this round, so... Let's see. So he'll defeat that one. But there's one more Vault Worm, so I'm going to knock another card out of his hand because I've got 2, 4, 6 buy power. I don't have anything I want to banish. It says you must banish a card. Ugh. That's unfortunate. I'll banish this guy because I don't want to lose the fight here. And I'll grab a 2 for instead. Alright, so I'll go ahead and make him lose another card. And I can banish a card in my hand or discard pile. Let me get rid of this apprentice. Start milling my deck here. Because that's a fate. When this enters the center row, each player must banish a card from their hand or discard pile. So I've got 2 left to buy. I'll go ahead and buy a Death Seeker and end my turn. Samael, the Fallen. So, this is the big bad of this entire expansion. He has come to Vigil. He has come to fight us. I cannot banish him. I can only beat him. Gain 8 crystals. Place this face up in front of you. For the rest of the game, when you defeat a monster in the center row or the void, you may acquire it. So instead of sending it to the void, it will go into my deck. Monsters in your deck are considered heroes. When you play them, you gain their fight power. That's amazing. So Samael has come to Vigil, and I might not be able to defeat him, but let's see. 5, okay. I'm going to grab a Lunar Stag, and I'll grab a Heavy Infantry. I probably should have done another Heavy Infantry. The Cultist will take my Mystic Fury. Okay, so draw 2 cards. Then you may banish a card in the center row. Notice I cannot banish Samael. Project Alpha. Will I 2? This is a Mystic that's hidden under my picture, so that's 2, 4, 6. So that's just 6. It's not enough to buy this Project Alpha. Once per turn, you may acquire a hero or construct with money cost less than or equal to the number of mechanic constructs. He has 3, so he can start picking up cards. I'm going to banish this card because I can't buy it. I don't want him to have it. And then I will play all to throw the rest out there. So I've got 6 buy power and 3 attack. I want Samael dead, and that could seriously help me. So I'm going to sink all my money. Well, not all. Yeah, I'll sink all my money into heavy constructs. Here's why. If I pay 5 for this, I only get 3. If I pay 2, 4, 6, I get 6 fight instead of 3 for... So it's just a better deal. 1, 2, 3. And the Cultist will feel my backhand. A lot of things just happened just now, and it was all due to fates. So if you want to go back and rewind and pause just to see what happened, it was basically discarding cards that was to the side of it. So all the monsters were defeated. The AI got a nice little boost from that. Let's banish this, get rid of this militia. Get a heavy infantry. Play all. I'm going to go with the Great Omen. Because I kind of know what's in my deck. So I can tell by what's played what's coming up. Okay, so I'll beat that Doom Weeper to get 4. Oh, this is unfortunate. It's like I'm one shy from getting these things. It's the worst. I'm going to go for 2 heavy infantry. I want Samael. He can help me. Maybe. He's up to 5. So he's getting stronger. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm smiling now because I get to beat him. So, Samael, you're mine. So, what happened was I got 8 for beating him, and this card triggered, which says the next time you defeat a monster in the center row or the void, gain 2. So, I actually got 10, which was really great. So, that worked out really well. Now, whenever I defeat a monster, it's going into my deck instead of going into the void. So maybe I might be able to salvage this. Let's start deck milling here. Alright, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, what can I do with 7 that would be worthwhile? This Serpent Cell thing, once per turn I gain 2. Once per turn you may acquire a hero in the void as though it was in the center row. So what this means is when I buy this card, because I'm buying this card, when I buy this card, it says 2 things happen. 1, I'm going to automatically get 2 buy power every turn. And then instead of just having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots that I can only buy from, I can actually go to the void and buy a card from the void, a hero from the void that was cast in there. So I banished a Mechana, if you remember. So I'm going to buy this card so I can go back in and buy that Mechana. When this card enters the center row, each player draws a card. So I'm going to draw a card. Acquire or defeat any card in the center row. Fantastic. But let's see what comes out. So people who are joining for this one, once again, welcome. But also you notice that every single time a card is taken out, a new card is replaced. So I want to see what's going to come out if it's a monster, because I don't want to waste this on these cards. I want to see if a big card's going to come out. So I'm going to purchase Guardian of Sardantis and see what comes out next. And nothing big. So I'm going to do a Duya the Chosen, which will say, okay, who do you want? Free card. You don't have to pay anything for it. I'm going to grab the Ascara Fate. And then out comes Nairi, which would have been perfect to get this turn, but, you know, luck of the draw. Which he might be able... Yeah, he's going to pick up Nairi. When you see the AI slow down like this, they've got nasty things planned, so he's going to pick up Nairi. Yeah. Oh, he had enough to beat Sam. No one gets Nairi. When this enters card, banish. Oh. So he's going to get 2. That was odd. But I will pick up Nairi. I'm going to pick her up because I have that one card that I picked up that said I can go get cards from in here. So let's go see what we can do. Alright. Remember Samael? Watch this. So he has more points than me too, so I'm going to be stealing some money. I can either defeat it or acquire it. I'm going to acquire it because that's an instant 3 fight that I'm going to be able to get. So acquire it. It's going to go into my discard pile. And when it comes up on my deck after it's reshuffled, it's going to be automatic 3 combat points that happen. And Samael isn't a construct. He is actually just a trophy that appears in my hand. This expansion only has him as a trophy, but other expansions has other trophies that could come in your hand. And I'll cover that when I get there. So, let's see. We'll get the Lunar Stag. Fate. When the centers play, banish. So now we're filling up with some monsters here. Let's see if I get the cards to do anything about it. I might be able to if I get it. We'll see how it goes. It's a lot of fates happening all at once. Like I said, you can go back and you can review it and see what... when this centers, you can ditch a card. I'm not doing that. I'm going to hit none. So we'll just let all the fates fire off. Alright. So you may defeat a monster in a void as though it were in the center row. Let's play that. And let's see what monsters we have. Not a lot. But Nairi's there, and I do want to pick her up. So... I'm going to defeat... He, once again, has more points than me. Let's go ahead and steal some more money. And I'm going to acquire it. So I'm keeping up with them. Score is even. This might be an interesting game. Banish a card in the center row. If you banish a monster in this way, gain 3. I don't want to lose my construct again. So I'm going to banish this 5. So I'm going to get 3 points for beating that monster. And then we're going to go ahead and play the rest, which gives me 4. I need to he can steal back from me, or I could gain 2. But there's nothing really to buy. I'm going to get rid of this card because, and I'll acquire it because I don't want to lose any more money. And then I'll get a heavy infantry, and that's all I can do. Cultist, you are safe this round. Ooh, he's thinking of something sinister. So he's going to start chaining off these monsters, I bet. Banish a card in the center row. So he banishes a monster. And then he's probably going to beat this one. Yep. Banish the... Well played. Each opponent either discards a card from for each construct they control or puts all constructs into their discard pile. So... There's no card to banish. So I'm going to do this one. We're getting close to the end, so I'm not ready to do money yet. So crystals yet. So, next thing. Alright, this one finally came out, the Great Omen Raven. Name a card, reveal the top card of your deck, and put it in your hand if it's the name card that you put. So in my discard pile, you can see these are the ones that I've already thrown in there. 2 monsters, heavy infantry, 1 mystic, and 2 cards. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and play this card, and I'm going to believe that what's coming up next is a mystic. Oh, it was an apprentice, so close to getting that 3. Oh well. Alright. And this one, and oh goodness, do you see how I messed that up? I could have left that apprentice there, played the Ahara Sensei, and then transformed that apprentice into a mystic for better points. That's on me for not paying attention. So I'm going to get a mystic and an infantry and just hang my head in shame at that complete blunder. Dangerous. So he fires off. He's got 8 constructs. Look at that. That is insane. This is going to be... this might not be a photo finish. With those constructs, he might completely destroy me. So he has the... Alright, he's using the card properly, where I did not. Ditched a mystic for a heavy infantry so he can do some fighting. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I have to ditch a card. I'm going to ditch this mystic. And then I'm going to draw 2 cards. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 combat. And I may banish a card, then banish a card in the center row. I am going to banish the Dimension Diver. Let's see if we can make it all monsters. Oh, it's an all monster show. All right. So with 10 points. Yes. We're going to let that happen so that he can ditch all of his... So I just made him dump his entire construct collection out of his hand and into his discard pile. They're going to shuffle back into his hand because you can see his His regular deck is at 0. His discard pile's at 30, which is full. He's got 6 cards in hand, but none of them, he's not going to get any benefits because of what I just did. So, and then because he has more points than me, you know, I'm just going to take some money from him because that's fun. And then we're going to end turn. So notice his play wasn't that great. Oh no. So I lose my... But my construct wasn't doing anything for me. I didn't have the best construct draw. It could be bad to... Not could be. It was because of my bad planning. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. Alright, so... Nairi is back, and she is mine this time. Then all the fates happen where it's just doing banishments of all cards adjacent. So this landed here, which kicked those out, which then brought this one in, which kicked that one out. We've got 4 crystals left, so we're in the end game now. So let's go ahead and hit end. Alright, I've got 3 combat, 5 combat, 6, 8. Alright, and I'll gain 2 when I defeat a monster, so I've got 9. He's got 6 back, so he's been drawing... So what can we do to disrupt that? Well, I need points since this is the end game, but I need the most that I can get. I can get 4, 6, and then 2 by power. That's what I can do, or I can just get a straight 6. Yeah, so I'll do 4, 6, and I have 2 by power to get 1 extra point for the end game. 0 points. This might be the end of. This might be it. So let's see what he does. He can't. That doesn't hurt me in any way. All right, game over. And Canje did not win this one. So I had 62 points, crystals, and 65 points in my hand. Because of those mechanic constructs, he had 66 crystals and 87 points in his hand, which he completely blew me out of the water here. So I didn't win this round. I won the last, but that's 1 for 1. We'll see what happens on the next time. Alright, that's been a great playthrough of Return of the Fallen. Samael returned to Vigil. I laid the smackdown, but I still lost in the end, and that's okay. This game is available on Steam if you want to get it. That's what I'm playing this on now, only because of pandemic reasons I can't have a large table group to play it on to show you a really good playthrough. But hopefully this gives you the information that you need if you're interested in picking up this expansion or the previous expansion in the last playthrough that I did, Chronicles of the God Slayer. If you have any comments, leave them in the bottom. I will be happy to answer them. But that's pretty much it. All right, have a good one. Bye.